Today we're going to review Tears for Fears' brand new album. Actually, it's been out for a couple of weeks, called The Tipping Point. So let's do it. And before we get into it, if you subscribe to the channel, if you do that, make sure you click the notifications, because I found out that just because you subscribe to the channel doesn't mean it comes up in your feed. So if you're wanting to subscribe to the channel, which, I will be okay if you do that, make sure you do that just to make sure you don't miss any content, and that would be great. So a little bit about this album. This is Tears for Fears' 7th studio album, and if you thought Songs from the Big Chair was the only album they did, you're absolutely wrong. They've done quite a few, and they're really good. But this is the first time they've released an album in 18 years. Tears for Fears started recording this album back in 2013, and they were teamed up with a lot of various younger artists to give them a more modern and contemporary sound. But in the end, Tears for Fears thought, this doesn't sound like Tears for Fears, so they didn't go with that idea. So they ended up shelving the idea. And then in 2017, Roland Orzabal's wife passed away, and he had been dealing with that for a while. And then, the dealing with her passing away just set it back a whole lot more, which her passing away was a lot more important than any music, but that did back it up. And what you'll notice is when you listen to this album, a lot of it was inspired by Roland's wife, what she went through, the pain, everything that he's dealt with, during and after, and just how he dealt with the passing of his wife. And that makes this album quite haunting and really just sad. It's hard to listen to this album, but I know there's an audience out there that can listen to this sort of thing, that can relate, and it's going to mean a whole lot to them. So just, keep paying attention. We'll get into it. But after a successful tour in 2019, Tears for Fears decided they were going to grab that music back off the shelf and just get together one-on-one and just finish the album and make it sound like Tears for Fears. And this is what we got. So let's get into the album song by song. Let's talk about each song, and I'll tell you what I heard. The album starts out with a song called No Small Thing. Now, this starts out very organically, and it kind of tells the story to me that this is the sound they were going for. It's just an acoustic guitar, them singing. It's this very peeled back, and you can tell it wasn't overproduced, and it's very enjoyable. I love the organ in this song. I like that sort of thing, just like a nice quiet organ. But in my opinion, the song kind of has like an end of album sort of sound to it, and it reminds me of Sowing the Seeds of Love, with all the background, just stuff that's going on. It's great. It's a really good song. So I think we're off to a good start. The second song is The Tipping Point. You probably already heard that one. As important as the lyrics are for the song, I really just I try to pay attention just to the music, but lyrically, this is a very strong album, and it needs to be heard lyrically. And I think the music is just kind of just something to keep pace for them to sing what they want to sing. But I think this song makes me sad. It's absolutely just pure sadness. And I feel like this song should have been the first track on the album. And when I notice the song has like a shuffle gate to it, which I always enjoy. And and the contrast is you have these quarter note vocals, it's this. And then you have the shuffle gate, which kind of contrasts and goes well with each other. And I just like that sort of thing. But I love The Tipping Point. It's one of my favorite songs on the album. A funny thing about it, track number 3 is called Long, Long, Long Time. It has the opposite effect as The Tipping Point. The vocal is done in triplets, boom, 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 boom. And the music and the beat is is basically on like quarter note. So it's exact opposite of the tipping point. I doubt they did that on purpose because I don't think anybody's going to notice it, but I did, and I just thought it was pretty cool. But I think this is a very nice modern track with a really good beat. It's enjoyable. Track number 4 is called Break the Man. I don't know if you've seen the video. I'll put it down below so you can watch the video. It's a pretty simple video, but I find myself intrigued by it. But anyway, it's the most recent single, and it's the first original song not written or co-written by Roland Orzabal. So this one's Kurt Smith, and I think he had a co-writer on there, but it's very cool, and I think it's a really good song, and I'm glad that they released it. Song number 5 is called My Demons. This one I have mixed feelings about. I like this song a lot. I like the way it sounds, and when you hear him, it's like he's got this pinpoint determination. He's just like singing it's like he's like looking into the camera, just singing the song to somebody or to, for a specific reason. And I like that determination. But then you get to the chorus, and it's kind of redundant. It's every line is done with the exact same notes, and I think it needed a lot more variation, which could have easily been done. I'm not sure why they decided not to have any kind of variation in the chorus, but they didn't, and I noticed that. But otherwise, I love the way they utilize the beats throughout this song and this album. They do a really good job of 4/4 time and then half time, double time. They change the way you feel while they're singing the song with the beat. And I think the utilization of the beat is top notch. Track number 6 is called Rivers of Mercy. I love this song. It's a gorgeous, beautiful ballad, and I think it could be released as a single. I'm pretty sure it hasn't already, but it should be. And again, it just relates to the whole point of the whole album. And he's just simply asking to have pain washed away by the rivers of mercy. Again, you have this sadness and dealing with death and, just dealing with life and everything they've got to deal with. It's a deep album, but this is a beautiful song. Song number 7 is called Please Be Happy. I'm going to say this is one of my least favorites, but I still like it. It's another ballad, straightforward. It's piano driven, very quiet. And again, this is, when I listen to the song, I just really feel like a lot of this album's just meant to be heard lyrically. And the lyrics need to be in the forefront because there is a specific message. But I do believe he's talking to his now deceased wife about just being happy with her situation of where she is, and maybe she can, be happy with now that she doesn't have to deal with the pains of life. Master Plan is track number 8. I like this song a lot. It's a lot more upbeat. It's an upbeat track. It's got a great chorus sang by Roland Orzabal. I love this guy's voice. I think I might put in a little bit of if you've never heard this guy just talk, it's pretty amazing. He's got a fantastic voice. I'll throw it in right here.
I mean, I remember all the hysteria in the 80s, and it's like hysteria it's manufactured and it comes from distance and space. I am the sacred object. You must not touch me. Okay. So if you kind of go, well, you know what? I'm not the sacred object, and you can touch me and you can talk to me. And once you do that, you start to relate to fans on the same level.
Yeah.
Then all the hysteria goes away. And then there's a hugely important, a far more important connection to people than this kind of fake stuff.
But it's got this 80s-ish keyboards and then this booming drum that jumps like directly into the first verse. It's just, it's not playing around. It's a very good track. End of Night is track number 9. This song is jump-started by the drum. Upbeat, seemingly more positive. But again, it has this end of album sound to it, as though this song is maybe the resolution of all the rest. So it just kind of feels like everything just kind of dumps out into the song, and this is the sum or the total or the resolution of everything we've heard so far. And just musically, that's what I hear. And, maybe the more positive notes, which is hard to tell if, the positivity, if it's coming from sadness or if it's coming from, actually being positive. It's difficult, but give me your take on End of Night. Let me know what you think about it. And, what does the song mean to you? That's a good assignment for everybody. What does End of Night mean to you? And then you have your last track called Stay. Stay sounded vaguely familiar when I heard it. We're ending the album with this. It's very calm. It's very quiet. Very haunting. And come to find out, this is also on the compilation album called Rule the World that came out a few years back. So that's why it sounded familiar. But it sounds like it may be a re-recording or maybe just slightly altered. I'm not exactly sure. It's definitely different, but it's pretty much the same. And I found out that Roland wanted to Stay to be on the tipping point because he quoted, "It's clearly someone expressing their emotions and it ends up as a beautiful thing and a huge relief." So they definitely wanted it to be on this album. Not sure why it's the last song, because I really think End of Night should have been, even called End of Night. So kind of a fitting name, but apparently the song meant a lot to them, and that's why it's on the album. I've talked about rating albums before, just the new ones. I think I would probably rate this somewhere around between 7 and 8. I don't think it's groundbreaking, and I don't think it's trailblazing, but I think it's a very important album. For a band who hasn't really created any new music for 18 years, they knocked it out of the park. And the beauty of it is, you have these producers these days that think, no one can be successful unless they have these bright, shining, enterprising young, kids that come in and give it a modern sound so people would care about it. And they're like, you know what? That's not us. And they proved otherwise. This album has proven to be quite successful without all that junk. So, producers, I'll need to back off. But I would probably rank it about a 7.5, somewhere through there. So let me know what you would rank it. 1 out of 10. How good is this album? I would love to know everybody's opinion there. So if you like this video, if you enjoy the video, you should check out, I have another video. It's called Rediscovery of a classic album, and it's No Jacket Required by Phil Collins. I actually did it last week. It's such a great video, and it's such a great album, and the album is so much better than I ever remembered. So I just really think people need to go back and rediscover No Jacket Required by Phil Collins, because it should be in your normal rotation. If you liked Tears for Fears, chances are you're going to like this album. So check that video out. I'll put a card up above so you can just click on that, or I'll put it down below. So whenever you're done with this, you can just go ahead and go to that. And maybe at the end screen, I'll throw it in there as well. I'll put it everywhere. So you can follow me on Twitter, Red Mug Music. Also, I'm on Instagram. That's my favorite. Red Mug Music, just the same. I'm on Facebook as well if you want to find it, but I do nothing on there. Do what you want. That's fine. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.